Team, today we are assessing our cervical spine mobility, which is especially important for a lot of us that have desk jobs where we're kind of seated in front and kind of have our head jutted forward a little bit, and we're like this for 8-10 hours a day, or a lot of times when we're on our devices and we're seated at home and we're looking down. It is very important that we feed our neck those other motions that it needs to make sure that those motions and those movements stay optimal, which then helps keep our neck happy and free of discomfort. So we're going to be going through everything in each position that we need mobility in, and we're just going to take it a little bit at a time, and we're going to do this together. And what's really neat is you can use these same exercises. So if you find that one of the motions is tighter, you can use these same exercises a few times each day to then start to create a little bit more balance and create a little bit more mobility. So in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it starts to feel much, much better. Now, obviously, we have to be very smart with our neck. So if you're feeling a lot of pain or discomfort, then these might not be the best exercises for you. In fact, there's a lot of ways that you can also get cervical spine mobility without actually moving the neck, and by keeping the head still and utilizing everything underneath you to indirectly get some mobility through the neck. And if you feel like that is more appropriate for you, definitely contact a coach through the HomeFit Plus app, and we can get you started on your own personal program. For those of you that just maybe have a little bit of tightness and are interested in kind of alleviating some of that, or just interested in seeing how well your neck does versus what's optimal, this is the perfect video for you. Some of the stuff you're probably going to be familiar with. Some of the stuff might be a little bit of things that you're not as familiar with that you didn't know your neck needed. So we are going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to get started pretty simply. We're going to get started in the sagittal plane, the forward and back plane, and we're just going to bring our head down. So we kind of want to basically be able to bring our chin to our chest, and I'm just going to gently bring it down. I feel a little bit of tightness at the very end. Some of you might feel a lot of tightness, and maybe you only get to about right here. That's okay. So if your threshold is here, just go right before the threshold, right before the threshold. That way we stay smart, but we'll still get results. So if I were to give you a side view, and we're going to be doing about 10 reps per movement. And what's neat is even just by doing this, it's starting to feel better. I'm feeling less of a pull at the bottom. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take it through extension. So I'm going to look up just like that. And again, a lot of this is going by feel. We don't have to measure the exact amount of degrees. So I'm just going to go up at the very end. Again, I feel a little bit of tightness, a little bit of gunkiness. That I know I could probably get a little bit better, feeling a little bit better. So you're just gently going to look up. Again, another side view here. And same thing, just go right to before threshold. So if you start to feel you're getting pretty tight, stop right about there, and then keep working to that distance until it starts to feel a little better, and then you can move a little further. Okay. Then our spine not just flexes and extends, but the cervical spine also does something that's called translating, or translates. So this next one's a little goofy looking, but very, very important. I kind of liken it to like a turtle coming out of its shell. So you're going to take your head and you're going to kind of reach it forward. So if you notice, my chin does not go up or down. So it doesn't look like staying on the same plane, but it's reaching forward. And again, you're just seeing how far can I go to where it feels comfortable. You know, does it feel kind of gunky through the middle, or does it feel okay? And mine seems to be moving pretty well. I can tell my right shoulder is actually a little bit tight. I'm feeling that a bit. But other than that, everything through the neck feels very good to me. Okay, then we kind of have the opposite motion. It's going back the other way. and you're almost kind of giving yourself like a double chin here. So same thing, the chin stays on the same line, okay? But we're moving it, instead of forward, we're moving it backward. So now, and you can kind of even almost gently guide it with your two fingers here, but you're just squishing the chin kind of back into your head. And I'll give you a side view so you can see it better. So here I am at a relaxed state, and then I'm going to drive it backward, kind of toward my head. I'm going to go a few more, but again, this feels pretty fluid to me. I don't feel much gunkiness at all, and that's, again, what you're kind of assessing. What motions feel good, which ones feel really tight. Okay, very good. All right, we got a couple of the weird ones out of the way, a couple weird ones to go, but we're gonna go back to one that you're probably familiar with. So now we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna be in a neutral position, okay? And I'm just gonna tilt laterally to the side. So I'm basically bringing my left ear to my left shoulder. Now you gotta be careful because you can kind of get a false reading if you let your other shoulder lift up. So this makes me feel like I can go a lot further, but my spine's doing a lot of the work, my thoracic, rather than just my neck. So I want to get just a good look at my neck today. And I can feel a nice little stretch right about there. So that can definitely be improved. And now I'm going to compare it to the other side. And this one feels more smooth to me. I have more range of motion. I don't feel much of a stretch at all on this side. So again, make sure you're not hiking, the shoulder. Make sure you're not tilting forward. So make sure you're not tilting forward into the side or back. Just try to go directly sideways from the neutral position. Very much taking our time. We don't rush anything doing our neck here today. So very, very slow to moderate movements. Feel out where end range is, and then return back to neutral. Okay? And always better to go a little less than a little extra. So make sure you're staying smart, identifying right where that threshold is, and just kind of going right up to it, not past it. Okay. So now another weird one. So our cervical spine doesn't just translate forward and back, but it also does it laterally too. And this one's tough for me. It takes some time, but we're just kind of, the chest stays and the head shifts laterally to the left. Okay, so this is my best attempt at it. It's not the easiest move, it's very subtle, and that is pretty gunky on me. You're not going to get a ton of motion, by the way. It's very, very small, very subtle, but I can tell that that's definitely a little gunkier when I try to do that. So the chest stays as best as I can, and I'm shifting that head to the left. Try not to tilt it, okay? Try not to shift everything together. Try to keep the body as still as you can with a little bit of shift, lateral left. All right, so now I'm gonna check out this way. So ready? Takes a little bit of coordination too, but this way is much smoother to me. My neck's a lot happier translating to my right. And you'll notice my thoracic's moving a little bit. That's okay. Just do the best you can to get that nice little head shift. Okay, all right. No more weird ones now. So again, I'm just making a couple notes. This one to the left definitely is gonna need some more repetitions to start to loosen up. Like we've learned from Gray Institute, Gary Gray, right? Motion is lotion. So just kind of repeating these movements can be very, very beneficial. That's probably the simplest way you can start to get a little bit more mobility through your neck. All right, now we're gonna go rotation. So again, gotta make sure that the shoulders stay square, okay? So you don't get a false reading. And I'm just gonna turn as far as I can to the left with just my head. Shoulders stay square. And I'm just gonna go right to subthreshold. Okay, and then other side. And you're just identifying which one just feels like it moves a little bit better, which one stops you a little shorter. We'll go a few more. And rest. Make sure to check out the HomeFit Workouts Mobility section for more cervical spine videos. And again, if you need to contact a coach, you absolutely can through the app. If you need a more specific program, and more videos and more follow-on programs are uploaded each and every month. So make sure you keep checking in, utilize what's there. And again, if you need something that's a little bit more specific to you, make sure to contact us. All right, great job, team. See you for the next one.